Simon Beard to me is like Simon the sower. Like, you've sown seeds so many times that people don't probably know you're reaping the harvest now from what you sowed years ago. So how much money were you on? What's your salary going back in the day when you started to earn money?
So it's a great question, because I do see a big difference to a lot of business owners I speak to at the same stage, is that right up in the early days, when Tani and I first had the first store and we were figuring out what to do, I remember we were paying each other $50,000 each. And then we hired someone to teach us on $100,000. And it was like, oh my God, they're getting paid twice as much as us. But we needed the knowledge, we were investing, and we were always betting on the long term. And it was, I really feel from that sower analogy, it's something that I've always lived by. It's the analogy of, you measure the day by the seeds you plant, not the crops you reap. And it was this thing, as I was always planting for the long term. And as we built the business, we stayed focused, even when we were spitting out, $50 million in turnover, which could almost maybe 10 million, between 5 and 10 million of EBITDA. We were only paying ourselves $150,000.
So you were paying yourself $150,000 when your business was 50 million?
Yes. The simple fact is because there is a difference between revenue and profit. And then even what you've got as profit and then cash in the bank. Because we've all had this when you get to the accountant at the end of the year and you're like, you've made $1 million profit. And you're like, well, where is it? Do you have it somewhere? Because I don't. It is this thing, there's the cash flow. For us, we were always investing, planting those seeds for the next thing, the next IT upgrade, the next hires that we needed to grow to scale, the next store, the next fit out, warehouse. We were always investing for that next stage of growth. And that's how we could continue to grow without raising outside funds or debt. So we had such a strong cash flow business with no debt, which enabled us to make great decisions, because we could make the decisions ourselves. We didn't have to be, well, what about the bank or this payments? And we didn't have that pressure, which enabled us, I believe, to build for the long term. And it was this discipline that...
But like, as an individual, right, I see great restraint, huge discipline in choosing. There's only two roads here to be able to invest in the brand. Use someone else's money, or use my own money, which a lot of people would be like, oh, lifestyle. Okay, I've worked, because so many people can just justify it. I've worked 5 years my ass off, but taking out would have taken away from it. Or you would have had to find out someone else's money and share the farm. If people see you now, we're in a beautiful apartment, we see beautiful things. Like, you mentioned a term to us, it was, what was it called?
Exit money.
Exit money.
Yeah, people could see this, the boat or the cars or the house, and you're like, oh, well, but I'm like, that only came from an exit. Now with our family and stuff, let's build the stuff that we want to
because you've got a young family, a beautiful wife, and you were working 80, 100-hour weeks every day for years.
Yes.
Right? And this even was happening back when you were at the markets. And we've had this conversation where you were saying that you felt like you crammed 20 years of work into 5 years because of your intensity of investment per hour spent. You weren't just meandering through each hour, you were attacking it.
Attacking it with forward momentum on that forward center of mass energy every single day of hunting down my outcomes. And that intensity, I felt, crammed so much more experience because of the feedback loop of testing, learning, reflecting. I was saying about Ray Dalio's key concept, pain plus reflection equals progress. I think taking those risks, but when you make the mistake, feeling the pain, like some people just skip over it, like, oh, pretend it didn't happen.
They avoid reflection?
You've got to feel the pain, reflect. Well, what did I get wrong? What did I get wrong with my thinking? Was it ego barrier? Was it blind spots? How did I make the wrong decision? Correcting, and then that's the progress.